welcome back to my channel. My name is Dheandra Nicolette. If you're new here, my love, welcome to this space. On this channel, you're gonna find a lot of spirituality, manifestation, wellness, lifestyle, dating. Honestly, really, you're just gonna find a lot of like whatever I want to record on that given day and time. So welcome to the space. I hope you enjoy it here. Hopefully you stick around, subscribe, give this post a like, all the things, all the algorithmic like goodies that we love to say at the beginning and end of a video. So my loves, today is Valentine's Day as I sit here and record this video, and honestly, I literally like just got a burst of energy and I decided to record this. It's actually, let's check the time for accuracy. It is 8:37 p.m. my friends. Yes, and if you know me, you know it is literally way past my bedtime, and like usually at this point I'm cuddled in bed, I have my book going, I've taken my melatonin gummies, and I'm settled in for the night. But however, tonight is a special night because here we are recording this video, and lo and behold, it is about dating. And actually it's about one of our favorite things, online dating apps. So we're gonna get into the tea today, my friends, okay? Yes, I am still single, but yes, I do feel like I know what it takes to be successful on an online dating app. My last relationship was actually from an online dating app, and honestly, you guys, I've been on a bunch of these different apps for like a minute now, so I feel like I know a lot of the pros, the cons, some of the inside tips. I've even been on Reddit threads. Like, that's how you know you're like low-key an internet expert, is if you've navigated like the underground Reddit threads, okay? And I have. So I'm bringing you all the tips, all the tricks, all the tea today. So grab your tequila, because it ain't no type of hot chocolate water type video. Baby girl, this is a video where you need a shot or two or three. Okay, I am not grabbing my tequila because my tequila is done. My tequila is done. Yes, it's literally finished. However, I encourage you to grab your tequila, and if you are a sober baby, then grab your water, okay? Actually, no. If you're a sober baby, like maybe kombucha, maybe just like a shot of like pure lemon juice. Get yourself a lemon ginger shot because you're gonna need it for this video, okay? So let me stop rambling. We're talking about all the dating tips and tricks you need to navigate the online dating world and these musty, ghetto, crusty streets. Okay, so the first tip I have for y'all is like key, okay? You need to know what you are looking for before you head in, before you download the app, before you decide to make yourself a profile, before you are getting ready to write a bio, all these things. Even before you decide what pictures you're gonna choose, you need to know what you were looking for before you go in. I talked about this in my like podcast episode video, how to be intentional when dating, that you need to like literally know exactly what you're looking for out here. Now, let me like add, you know, a little bit of color and context to this tip. Part of dating is actually learning what you do like and don't like, because sometimes you'll think you want a certain thing, you think you want a certain type of quality or whatever, the partner, you're like, okay, this is what I want for sure. You go out there in the dating world and you start to find a lot of that, and you're like, you know what, maybe I was mistaken. Maybe that is actually not what I want, and I want this instead. And that is literally a part of the process. That's literally the fun of dating. It's like getting to know yourself, getting to know your standards, like what you want, all that good stuff. However, it is really good when you go into the apps to have like at least a bare minimum of what you want. And when I say bare minimum, I literally do not mean bare minimum like don't settle, okay? Do not go in here trying to settle. But I mean, have an idea of like what's important to you. Okay, like for example, in that dating video, I talked about values like kids. Typically, people know if they want kids or if they don't want kids. And sometimes you are unsure, and that's definitely an option. For example, on Bumble, they give you the option to put like either you have kids or you don't want kids, you want kids, you don't want kids, you don't know if you want kids. Like, they have a bunch of different options for like all the different things that you could, you know, want or not want when it comes to kids. Knowing something like that is really important when you go in, because if there's someone like me who knows they want kids, and obviously you really want to be with another person who knows they want kids, if you go onto the app and you see a guy or you see a girl or a person who's like, I don't want kids, then that's kind of your clue to like swipe left. That's kind of your clue to avoid that person. That's kind of your clue that is something that is a non-negotiable for you. That is something that you know you want. That is something that you really can't like alter. And well, actually you can't alter it, but that's something that if you know you don't want to alter it, you should have that standard set for yourself going into these apps. I'm talking about like your non-negotiables, your values, the things that you know really matter to you, especially when it comes to a romantic partner. Tip number 2, I was gonna say 2, but that's gonna be 4. Tip number 2, take your bio seriously. One thing that grinds my gears, okay, because I have a lot of things that grind my gears, but one thing I get so annoyed with is people who don't take their dating app bio like seriously. Because let's face it, we're all on the app, okay? Whether you're trying to play it cool and be like, oh, cute, I'm really, like, I don't know, I don't care, like, I don't care, my friends are like, whatever, I'm cool. Or not, you're on the app. Like, that's literally the fact of the matter is you're here. You're no better or no worse than anyone else that you're swiping left or right on. And so I feel like if you're gonna go into a dating app, take it seriously. Like, if you know you're not ready to date, or if you're feeling like cringy about the whole thing, if you're embarrassed, know that there is literally no reason to be embarrassed. Like, I don't understand. Honestly, you guys, it's 2022. Like, dating apps are basically the way that people are meeting people these days, especially because we're in the middle of a you-know-what, and because I think it's a lot harder to like go out in person and do the things in the way that we used to do things. Dating apps are literally the norm. So there's no reason to be embarrassed, and there's no reason to avoid putting effort and energy into your bio because you're embarrassed that it's gonna be like cringy that you're actually taking it seriously. So use your bio as a place to, 1, talk about who you are, because hello, it's a bio, and then 2, kind of talk about what you're looking for as well. So it's like a good mix of the two. You get to choose like what your profile looks like. You get to choose what you write on there. So I think it's a really great place. Like, yes, pictures are important. Yes, it's good to have a visual. Yes, it's good so people know what you look like. Don't be catfishing out here, y'all, because that's not cute. However, the actual bio, like putting word to paper, if you will, like putting some substance on there and letting people know this is who I am, this is what I'm into, this is what I'm looking for, that is so important. And I know personally, whenever I come across a profile where I can tell the guy actually took effort to like write his bio or to answer the prompts or to just talk about himself a little bit, even if it's like a sentence or 2 that's like funny and shows his humor or shows his intelligence or something like that, I personally feel a lot more apt to like swipe right, especially if I'm physically attracted to him. Versus whenever I see someone that's like super cute, but they literally have nothing in their bio, or oh my god, the cringiest thing for me is if someone puts Snapchat in their bio. Like, I don't know. Well, you know what? I do know why it's cringy to me, because I'm 27. I was gonna say I was 28. Let me not age myself up. I'm 27 years old. And honestly, I feel like I've outgrown the Snapchat like age and era for myself. Whenever I see guys put Snapchat in their bio or something, to me that's giving like you're gonna be wanting nudes, like you're sending nudes, like it's giving nudie tootie pootie vibes, okay? And I'm not trying to rock with it. I'm not trying to rock with it at all. I really do appreciate when there's a good bio. Like I said, if it's someone really attractive but they have put literally no effort into their bio, I kid you not, I always swipe left. I'm always like, okay, you're cute, but like, is it giving you have a brain? Is it giving their substance? Is it giving anything? Right now it's giving me that, you know, you're cute, you think you're cute, you think that's gonna get you by, and it's not. It's not. That pretty privilege don't work around here, okay? Okay, the next one is like optional, but I honestly think it is worth it in some cases, and that is to pay like the premium price and upgrade your profile. Now, the reason I say this is because I do believe that you get a better experience on these apps when you pay. At the end of the day, like, you are their customer, and I am gonna do a whole podcast episode on the psychology of dating apps and why these apps are kind of addicting, and at the end of the day, like, are they really trying to help us find love? I don't know about that. However, I do think that there's something worth it to paying like the actual premium price. So for example, I pay for Bumble Premium. And one thing I love about Bumble Premium, if you like don't use Bumble, stick with me because I'm like trying to describe this experience to you. So on Bumble, you can swipe right or left. It's like Tinder. Everyone knows Tinder. However, one of the things that Bumble has is called like the Beeline. And so basically when you pay premium price, you can go into your Beeline and you can see exactly who is like swiped right on you already. So that if I go into my Beeline, I can go, okay, this person, Joe, has like swiped right on me already. Okay, I like his profile, I like his bio, whatever. Swipe right, I instantly match with him. I can message him. That's kind of like the good thing about the premium price on Bumble is that you get to see instantaneously who's already said yes to you and you can match with them right away. I will say though, one of the things that I have noticed about Bumble Premium is that 99% of the people that are in my Beeline, I swipe them left. Yes, I am that picky gal. Yes. And I do say I have no regrets about being a picky gal because this is someone that you are essentially saying that you are thinking about potentially spending the rest of your life with when you are dating someone, or at least I am because I'm dating for the purpose of marriage and for the purpose of a long-term relationship. And so I'm not taking it lightly that I'm trying to spend my life with somebody like that. I'll be picky as hell, okay? Because one thing I'm not going to do is try to enter into a relationship all willy-nilly. I ain't got time. I do not have time. I'm very busy gal too, okay? I'm a picky gal and a busy gal. So I do like the Bumble Premium aspect of being able to see your Beeline, things like that. However, like I said, I do notice that I'll get kind of like more so the random men that I'm not really into on the Beeline. So it's kind of like a lot of just swiping left, but it does save me time. That's why I like paying for it, because it saves me time because I don't have to always go into like the regular swipe mode. I can go in and see who's liked me. I'm like, okay, this person's cool, this person's cool, this person's cool. Okay, swipe right. I've matched with 3 people already. And like, I basically did that in so much less time than it would have taken if I like went through regular swiping. I was swiping all over the place. Another thing that's really good about premium on both Bumble, and I've paid for Hinge in the past before as well, is that you can filter people. So like I said, if you go into these apps, you should have an idea of what you want, right? And typically something like kids, marriage, education, height, what else? There are other things, but a lot of these apps let you filter for those really big, important things. So I'll go into my filters and make sure that I'm only seeing people that want kids. Or I'll go into my filter and like, what's another thing? I can't even lie to you guys, sometimes I filter for height. I know, but sometimes I do filter for height. So I'll also go in and filter for what are you looking for on Bumble, because I don't necessarily want to see anyone who's looking for something casual, because that's not what I'm looking for. I do think the premium filters are worth it. And especially if you're like intentionally dating, you're really being serious about this, and you're like pretty self-aware and you also really know what you're looking for, I do think that paying for these apps can be worth it. Okay, my love. So my next tip is to move off the app sooner rather than later. Okay. This one is one where you definitely want to take your safety into account, right? So you don't want to just be like meeting up with someone random in a random location, like all of a sudden, because it's wild people out here, okay? It's very wild people out here, and you need to be safe. You need to like look out for yourself first, all that good stuff. What I will say though is that having a conversation with someone online, texting through the app, whatever, and like meeting someone in person are two very different things. Like the chemistry, the way y'all interact, all that good stuff is a lot more like easily seen or felt through an in-person interaction. So I personally prefer to go on dates sooner rather than later. I don't want to be talking to someone for like a week, 2 weeks, whatever, without going on a date. Like usually within a couple days of talking, I'm either like hinting at, you know, let's go on a date, or like putting the feelers out there, or like literally saying it, because I am just like, let's go out, let's see how it is, whatever. If you're kind of like nervous about meeting someone in person right away, one thing that you could do is a FaceTime date in the middle. So instead of being like, okay, let's go on a date right away, what I'll do is be like, hey, like, okay, you know, maybe we can FaceTime like soon and see like what's good, like see if we like each other, see if we vibe, and then like go from there. And then like I'll have a FaceTime date with someone, and then if it works out and we're vibing or whatever, I'll go see them in person. But I'll give you guys one recent example. So I recently went on a FaceTime date with this guy. We had a great FaceTime date. We were laughing, jokes, all the things. It was like really good, and I felt good about it, he felt good about it, and we're like, we're gonna definitely hit it off in person, like it's gonna be amazing. So we go in person, and it was definitely very different. Like, he was still a cool person. I was still cool, you know, I'm me or whatever. So I was still a cool person, but the chemistry, like, wasn't there. It just wasn't vibing. Like, we weren't, it wasn't the same. Do you know what I mean? Always better to like get to that in-person date, because like you can have a good FaceTime date too, and even that involves like video and like some body language and stuff like that. You might still get to the in-person stage and be like, actually this person isn't a good fit for me, or whatever the case is. So try to get to that in-person date as soon as possible, and like know that at the end of the day, the more first dates you go on, like, it's better practice. Like, you just get better at it. Like, I still get a little bit nervous sometimes, but honestly, once I'm there, once I meet the person, it's always like awkward when you're trying to like figure out where you guys are or something. You're like, oh, we're meeting up at this place, and you're like, oh, where are you? Or like you're trying to find each other. Like, that's always the awkward, like, nervous stage. But once you're actually there, you're in person, you're sitting down at the bar or the restaurant or whatever, it's typically a good time from there. So just try to go on the first date, because really you're not going to be able to like fully get the vibes of a person until you are literally sitting next to them or standing next to them or with them in person, feeling their energy. And I'm big on energy, so I gotta see what it's giving in person. Okay, my next tip has to do with your photos, because this is a huge one. Okay, I have this thing where if I see a guy and he has a bunch of pictures and none of them he's like smiling, I was wondering what's going on with your teeth. I really am wondering that. And that is just genuinely, like, I think a curious thing. Like, if you're seeing someone and they're not smiling with teeth in all of their pictures, like, you start to wonder, is there something you're hiding? So you want to have a smiling picture, you want to have a full body picture, and maybe a picture with some hobbies, like something that you're doing that you really enjoy. I personally don't have any pictures like with hobbies, I would say, because I won't even lie to you guys, my hobbies are definitely things where like I don't have pictures of myself doing it. Like, I like reading, I like podcasting, I like making YouTube videos. So I don't necessarily have pictures of these things, but I have mentioned them in my profile. So if you don't have pictures of your hobbies, definitely mention them somewhere in your profile, so that someone has a way to like ask you about them as like a prompt, or to like hit you up and be like, hey, I'm into that thing too, whatever, to start a conversation. One last thing I'll say with pictures is that if you're a guy and you've somehow stumbled across this video, is make sure that all of your pictures, you don't have a hat on. If you are bald, or if you have a shaved head, like whatever it is, I would say own it. Like, I personally, I don't know, maybe this is just my opinion, but I would rather a guy like own his baldness or own whatever and just like show that, versus like just having the hat on and trying to hide it all the time. Maybe you can argue that, like, I don't know, should I be out here on my bumble without my wig? But it's like, I know, but I'm always in a wig though, so I don't know. I do wear protective styles a lot, so maybe it's not the same thing, but that's just my tip. I don't know, I feel like I just personally don't like when it's like all hat pictures, so that's my thing. My last tip is one that is meant to give you guys some hope. So I want you guys to remember that if you are single and if you are navigating the streets out here through dating apps, to remember that you're only seeing a percent of people who are single right now. You might be having a lot of like frustrating moments where you're not seeing the type of person that you want to see, where you're not going on the best dates, where you're not meeting that person. And trust me, I understand, I get it. And one thing I've had to remind myself, that I will remind you, is that you're only seeing a percentage of people that are single. And then also, like, your person right now, they may not be single. Right now, they may not be on the app. Right now, they might be busy doing something, traveling the world in a different country. They haven't made it to your country yet. There are so many different factors that go into the timing of you meeting that person. And just because you are not having a lot of luck on the apps doesn't necessarily mean that the apps are the worst place to be. Now, obviously, the apps are affecting your mental health or affecting your emotional energy. Take a break, delete them, whatever you have to do. I've been there. I literally delete the apps like once a month, I kid you not, because I just have to do that for my well-being and my sanity. However, they are a good place to meet people and to go on dates. Like, I like to think of it as practice. I'm always like, okay, I can go on this date. This could be the love of my life. Like, this person could change my life forever for the better. Yeah, that's great. But even if I go on a date and like I just have some good food, or like I meet a friend, or I have great conversation, like, I'm living in that moment and choosing to enjoy that moment with that person. Definitely take each day as it goes and like know that the apps are, yes, a great way to meet people, yes, a good way to connect with others, yes, a good way to like see what's out there, but they don't show you every single person that's out there, and they're not the end all be all. As hard as it is to meet people in person these days, it's still possible. It still happens to people, and like when it is your time to meet your person, it will definitely happen, and you will meet them in like probably the wildest of ways, or maybe you'll just meet them on Bumble, or maybe you'll just meet them on Tinder, who knows. But when it's your time, when it's your person, it will happen for you. Do not worry, okay? I promise you it will happen for you. My loves, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to this very random video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. Like I said, if you're not single and you stumble across this video randomly or by chance, maybe you're subscribed to this channel, share it with a friend or someone that you know who is single and like navigating the streets and like needs a little bit of help with the apps, or is frustrated with the apps and wants to know how to like better use the apps, things like that. And if you are single, let me know in the comments how long you've been using the dating apps, or if you've never used the dating apps, let me know down below too. I'm so curious, like who's on the apps, who's not. And like I said, don't be embarrassed about the apps. Like it is literally just like at this point like quite normal, so do not be embarrassed about them at all. Thank you, my loves, for tuning into this video. I appreciate you so much. I will chat with you in the next one. Bye, my loves.